Greetings, my name is Timothy Collinson. I'm the faculty librarian, and in this very short video, we're just going to take a quick look at the balance of your reference lists. So if I share my slides with you, you should hopefully be able to see there the slides that I produced. So have a look at this following slide that we're going to show you, and then have a look at the two invented reference lists. So these are made up. And I'm going to ask you the question, what do you notice about them? So don't worry about the subject matter or the punctuation details. Look at the content of the reference lists and see what you think about them. Here we go. List 1 on the left, list 2 on the right. You might want to pause the video now, have a look at them, see what you make of them, just for a minute or two, and then unpause the video and come back. Okay, so I don't know what you made of them, but if you have a look at the left-hand side, you'll see that it tends to be, not exclusively, but it tends to be more academic, scholarly journal articles. On the right-hand side, you can see that there's more in the way of newspaper articles, magazine articles, and web pages. Now, that's not to say don't kind of reference those kinds of material, but it is to say that you might want to have a look at the balance of what you're actually putting into your reference list. How much is perhaps the less academic? How much is the more academic? So if I go on to the final slide here, you'll see that as you begin to do your work, you'll begin to learn to read references. It can be fairly boring looking through a reference list, but you can also see that academics can very easily go through a reference list and get an idea of what sources you've been looking at very easily. And you can use that to your advantage and demonstrate your scholarship if you're tending towards the more academic sources. As I say, that's not to say you can't reference websites or magazine articles or newspapers, but you need to be thinking about why you're doing that, and you just need to be thinking about the balance of the list and how much of one and how much of the other. Do note, however, that some perhaps very new subject areas may not yet have a lot of academic sources published as yet, but then you can talk about that in the text of your assignment or your dissertation. And there may be parts of your literature review that very specifically want to look at newspaper coverage of a topic, for example, or that kind of thing, or perhaps government papers that have been published on a particular topic. I should mention at this point Wikipedia. Some lecturers actually forbid using Wikipedia, so don't put it in your reference list. Make sure you check with them first, but make it work for you by looking for an overview of a subject if it's new to you, and that can be fine to get an idea of what the subject's about. But then have a look at the bottom of the article, which may well have references that link to quite academic articles and conference papers, and they may be really useful things that you can reference. And if we do note that the referencing Wikipedia is an exemption to the rules about including a date and no longer including a retrieve date. So do have a look at that URL if you're at all concerned about that. So I hope that's given you a little food for thought about your reference lists. And if you've got any questions about it, don't hesitate to come back and chat to us in the library. And we've got lots of ways of doing that virtually or in person.